Sure, you were in a relationship with a man for, I think, 3 years
Yes.
that was
Yeah.
that HIV positive?
And hepatitis C positive. I
Wow.
didn't care. I just wanted to love and be loved. June 8th, 2002, I lost everything. The only thing I had were the clothes on my back and my car, because that was in my name and it was paid for. But I had nothing. It's weird when you look back at it, you're like, oh, my partner's a father figure. She said, are you reading the Bible? And I said, Michelle, I'm not, because I'm afraid it will change me. And I don't want to be changed.
Jim,
Yes.
you have a story of 5 years
Yeah.
in relationship, pretty promiscuous, pretty all in, and then leads to 5 books.
Correct.
So 5 years with men and then 5 books. So talk.
So, Kim, I grew up in the church.
Okay.
I kind of knew right and wrong. I knew being gay I shouldn't do.
Okay.
But what do you do when you're attracted to your own sex?
Right.
And, well, how are you going to get married and have kids? That ain't going to happen. And at the age of 23, I'd had enough. I got fired from being living in Bermuda,
Okay.
accused of being gay. I was a virgin at the time, and I kind of said, screw it. If I'm going to be accused or people are going to keep saying that I'm gay, I might as well come out. So I came out in Portland, Oregon.
Wow. And just dove in.
I dove in. I moved back home to Orange County, California.
Yeah.
After being, in essence, fired from my position in Bermuda. Actually, it's against the law to be gay. I don't know if it still is in
Okay.
Bermuda. And I think my boss, who was a multimillionaire, was afraid that I would jeopardize his financial empire.
Wow.
So I was on the next plane out, came back to the United States, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go up to Portland, Oregon, come out, and that's what I did. Yeah.
Wow. Tell me about those 5 years. Like when you just were like, hey, everybody's accusing me of being gay. I'm going to do this. What did those 5 years look like?
I remember coming out like, how come no one would sleep with me? I was like, I'm this fresh meat, so to speak, and I couldn't hook up with anybody. And it was really weird.
In Portland?
In Portland, I know, but I didn't know what I was doing. Just started going to gay bars and drinking and having fun and meeting people.
Okay. Now, when did relationships start? Because I'm pretty sure you were in a relationship with a man for, I think, 3 years.
Yes.
That was that HIV positive?
Yes. And hepatitis C positive. I
Wow.
didn't care. I just wanted to love and be loved. And if I was, a victim or a casualty, so be it. That's how desperately I wanted to love and be loved.
Okay, so tell me about how that relationship started. What
Well,
was
let me back up into Portland. So
Okay,
I couldn't find anybody to sleep with. Once I figured that out, I'm like, why does anyone ever pay for sex? Because it's man to man, it's free all the time, anywhere, I think, in the globe.
Yeah.
And so I started meeting people, this dancer, ballet dancer, we hooked up. I mean, the list goes on and on. Met another guy that was HIV positive. He and his partner were on again, off again, hung out with him, and more than one way.
Yeah.
And just, you start kind of getting to meet people. And my roommate really was a roommate, my apartment mate. He had the apartment next door. He was gay, dying of AIDS, and kind of took me under his wing, kind of mothered me, so to speak.
Okay.
Would make me food. I'd eat everything he ate.
Yeah.
So I really immersed myself into the gay culture.
Okay.
All my friends were gay.
Yeah.
Everybody in the building was gay.
Yeah.
And it was just this whole, wow, this is this whole other world I didn't even realize existed. And I had a blast.
Wow.
And then my dad was diagnosed with a brain tumor. So I moved back home to Orange County, California.
Okay.
And thought, well, I'll get a job down here, and who knows how much longer we'll have with my dad. Thankfully, he's still alive today. That's a miracle story. Was non-cancerous. But when I moved back home, we had AOL at the time. You probably remember that dial-up chat, and you could dial in. And I met this dude in Palm Springs over AOL chat.
Okay.
Started chatting. He's like, yeah, come, why don't we have dinner? So drove out 90 miles from Orange County to Palm Springs.
I know the road very well.
Yeah. And his name was Ron.
Okay.
And, I was like, oh, he's so sophisticated. Drinks wine at dinner and all this. Little did I know he's an alcoholic and pothead. But I didn't care. I was good with that.
How old were you at this time?
I was 23.
23.
Yeah.
Okay. And was he older
Oh,
or
wait,
younger?
so wait a minute, 3 years, so I was 25.
You were 25.
25.
Okay. And was he older, younger?
He was 39
Okay.
or
Okay.
38, somewhere around
Yeah.
there. So kind of, it's weird when you look back at it, you're like, oh, my partner's a father figure.
Right. Right.
But you don't realize the unhealthiness of what's going
Right,
on. You're
right.
just attracted to him.
Yeah.
Tall, dark, handsome, more or less fit. And
So
yeah.
he drinks wine, he does this.
Yeah,
you're
and I'm
in.
like, he owns his own business. He's an artist,
Mm.
and I'm a business major. My undergrad's in international business and economics, so we kind of hit it off.
Mm.
And I start driving out to Palm Springs like on a regular basis.
Wow.
And then I moved in with him, and what was funny about that, my job was in Orange, downtown Orange, in one of the tower buildings. And I'm literally commuting 2 hours a day to go to work,
Wow.
and did that for 3 months, which in Southern California in
No.
traffic is insanity.
Yeah.
But I literally was doing a 90-mile commute
Wow.
in the morning, then come back in the evening. And after 3 months, we decided, hey, why don't, let's just continue to live together.
Mm.
You run my business, and I'll just focus on doing the artwork.
Wow. Okay. So it got real. I mean, it was real. You're going back and forth.
Yes.
But okay,
Yeah.
so you moved out to Palm Springs?
I did.
Okay.
And
Tell
what
me.
was kind of cool, his home, he was renting the old section of the Hefner estate.
Oh wow.
That was in Palm Springs. So it kind of had some not good historic
Yeah.
history, but it was kind of like,
cool.
oh, that's good. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool. And Lucille Ball, when she was still alive, lived down the street.
Wow.
Not Sophia Loren. Who's the other famous actress? Anyway, but just a lot of big time old school movie stars.
Yeah. So
in the
you're kind
area.
of living the dream per se
Yes.
of what you think. You're with this older man.
Yep.
You're kind of living the high life. You've got kind of Hollywood a little bit around you in this space. And now are you working for him?
Well, we kind of worked together. I
Okay.
mean, we were on the same bank account.
wow.
And our artwork, or his artwork, sold. The least expensive piece was $1,000.
Okay.
Went up to 30,000.
Wow.
So you can imagine the type of clientele. A lot of
Yeah.
Hollywood people with funds
Yeah.
who can afford, to put a $30,000 piece of artwork on the wall.
Right, right. Wow. Okay, so what did that relationship look like once you were living there? I mean, were you
In the beginning, it was amazing.
okay?
It's Will and Grace. It's
Yeah.
everything's perfect.
Yeah.
There's no, and then reality sets in, and
Mm.
life is a living hell.
Mm.
On the outside, we're happy, everything's perfect. Behind closed doors, I started realizing this guy's an alcoholic. He's addicted to pot. And anyway, it just kind of went from this glamorous lifestyle to a horrible situation.
Wow. Pretty quickly. How long of a relationship? What was going on?
We were together for 3 years.
Okay.
And I actually went to Al-Anon,
Mm.
which is for those who deal with codependency issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Those who are living with addicts, which is
Okay.
AA's for addicts. Al-Anon is for the codependent people, the really sicker people who are married or in relationships with addicts.
Okay, so you were trying to get help of how do I work in this relationship? It wasn't like
Yes.
get me out of here. It was how do I become better? How do I support?
But Kim, I grew up a Christian, so I knew Christian principles are true.
Yeah.
If I just apply these Christian principles in this relationship, it's going to work.
Gotcha.
I can make it work. I can help him. But I wore a wedding ring, and he did too. I mean,
Okay.
marriage for the LGBTQ community wasn't legal
Oh,
in
okay.
California at the time.
Okay.
But we just ran around like we were. Even my brother was like, "Why is Jim wearing a wedding ring?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's what I was gonna ask. Where was your family at this point? Like, are you being honest with them? Is it transparent? Were you open and out, or was this like, oh, this is a friend of mine, or how'd that look?
my family knew.
Okay.
My family knew. It was very devastating for my mom, my dad.
Okay.
I remember they were in Orange County at the time, and sat me down at the kitchen table and said, "Son, what's going on?"
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh. But
Yeah.
my mom, I'll leave it to my mom. She goes, "What's going on with you?" And I'm like, "I met someone." And she goes, "Is it a man or a woman?"
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
They knew. And I said it was a man. And she
Mm.
lost it. My dad did. And
Wow.
my mom's crying. And I'm like, well, yeah, I met this man. And they kind of laid down the law and put very strict boundaries. Your
Okay.
partner's not welcome in our
Mm.
home. you can't come over to the holidays, anything like that. You're always welcome,
But not him.
but not him.
Okay. How did that settle for you? Did you kind of push them out?
I did. I'm like, how dare you call yourself Christians? You don't
Mhm.
even know Jesus, because Jesus wouldn't be like that.
Mm,
And I read them the riot act and just laid into them.
okay.
Like, how dare you call yourself even Christians?
Yeah.
To treat my partner like that.
Right. And so did you during that time, did you just not go around them or did you go solo? How did
A
that look?
couple of times my partner were like, if we were driving out, we'd do business in Orange County.
Yeah.
He'd drop me off, go do whatever he needed to do, and then pick me up.
Okay.
And then we drive back together. And then after a while, I just said, screw it.
Okay.
I'm not showing up.
Yeah.
Like, I literally brought Christmas presents, left them on the doorstep, and left. And like, nope, I don't want to, if you're not going to include my partner, I want anything to do with you.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd that feel? Like, that's so common, right?
Yeah.
But how did it feel inside? Like, did you have to stuff something down? Like, what was going on in your heart?
I was angry with them
Mhm.
and kind of like, yeah, Ron, I tell them like, yeah, this is how Christians behave. This is just terrible.
Mm. Okay. So,
But I didn't really have so much feelings, as in the sense of I had chosen to this lifestyle and I wanted to do this. My family disapproved, and anything I would do to hurt them, I was going to do that, hurt them emotionally, not
Mhm.
physically, but hurt them emotionally. Like, if this is how you're going to behave and treat me and my partner, this is what you have coming.
Yeah. So it was almost like it was their fault.
Yes,
It's like
correct,
this
correct.
is what
And I
you're
didn't
choosing.
own it. I just,
Yeah.
right, that's your guidelines. This is what you've decided to live with.
Yeah.
Ron and I, we're going to live our lives together.
And you did that.
We did.
Okay. Did Al-Anon help?
So what Al-Anon did was teach me how crazy people are.
Okay.
So I went to my first Al-Anon meeting.
Yeah.
I had no idea what codependency was.
Okay.
And I'm looking around and I'm going, all these people are crazy
Mm.
because they're living with these addicts, doing these horrible things to them,
Mm.
and they continue to go back to it.
Yeah.
And literally, they're getting abused either physically, emotionally, spiritually,
Yeah.
verbally, you name it. It really gave me, I have a firsthand experience of battered wife syndrome. And
Mm.
I think I better have an empathy and understanding for women who keep going back to their abusers. I get it.
Mm.
Because my quote unquote husband was a verbal and emotional abuser. And I kept going back to it. And what I saw in that first meeting, I'm like, you're all crazy? No, I'm nuts. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I went to maybe by the third meeting, I had already, I had some gay friends that owned an apartment building in town, actually across the street from our art gallery. And I reached out to them and I said, hey, you guys, look, I need to get out of this. They're like, you can move into one of our apartments. We just refurbished this 1920s cool building. I mean,
Yeah.
epic. Only like 9 units, little tiny pool in the middle, and total that kind of that ricotta,
Yeah.
Mexican
Palm Spring
style,
vibe,
Palm
though.
Springs vibe. I mean, vaulted ceilings, wood
Yeah.
beams exposed. I mean, design wise, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like a total gift.
So you broke up with him?
Yes, I set this up, and then I had some other gay friends, a couple shops over. He was a cosmetologist, his partner, and he were like, why don't you come over and we'll do a makeover?
Oh. Like, so did you?
So what I mean, they didn't make me into a woman or anything
No,
like
no.
that, but like dyed my eyebrows, eyelashes black, did my hair just totally, I'm blonde.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gray now,
Yeah.
but I'm blonde.
Yeah.
And they totally like give me this makeover.
Okay.
So
Is this to help you find someone else?
I don't know. They
Okay.
just wanted, they knew I was in a shitty situation,
Okay.
and they wanted to help me.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I had this makeover show up, and my partner like flipped out. He's like, I didn't marry a woman. What did you do? Get out. And I'm like, don't worry.
I'm on my way.
I'm already on my way. I've got my apartment. I'm moving out. And then he went to the bank and took all the money out of our accounts and put it into account with exclusively his name only. So literally overnight, June 8th, 2002, I lost everything. The only thing I had were the clothes on my back and my car, because that was in my name and was paid for. But I had nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
And
And
nothing
then
you could do.
well, then I'm like, well, I'll just go to our business
Yeah.
and get a check from one of our clients that,
Yeah.
that's paying for a piece. I'll cash that, whatever. And he actually took me off the business, filed a restraining order. I've never hit another person in my life. I've
Wow.
never hit another individual. And he filed a restraining order saying that I was violent. Well, with RTOs TROs, temporary restraining orders, you were guilty until you prove your innocence.
Wow.
So now I can't even go to our business without getting arrested.
And you
I
never
can't.
hit him.
I never struck him.
Wow.
And so long story short, I ended up going to court. He didn't show up.
Mm.
The case was expunged, which means it's been removed, like
Yeah.
it didn't happen,
Yeah.
because it was all fraud. And even I had an attorney look at it. He looked at it and he said, it really looks like someone's really angry at you and they're trying to come after
Okay.
you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he didn't even show up to court.
Did you recover any money? I'm just
No.
wondering how you just
No,
had to start over.
So I have no money,
Wow.
debt on credit cards. I'm living in this apartment, and thank God I had a place to go.
Yeah.
And my buddy goes, "Why don't you come out to the farm with us this summer?"
Okay.
I'm like, it was in June. So I said, sure, I'll go work the farm, chop wood, do hay, throw hay bales and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. and plant,
Where's this farm?
in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. So out of state.
Out of state, whole new environment. And then my buddies who own the apartment complex, my two gay friends, were like, hey, at the end of the month, you're going to have to start paying rent and we need a security deposit.
Oh gosh.
So I'm like, okay, but no money. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So I go to the farm for like 3 weeks, do man's work. I
Okay.
mean, man's work.
Yeah. You're chucking
yeah.
hay, whatever
And
that
I'm
means.
a city boy, Orange County,
Yeah.
metrosexual kind of a
Yeah.
thing.
I was born in
And-
Orange County. I
yeah.
get it. Yeah.
And I, stupid me, rip my shirt off. I'm throwing bales of hay. Note to self: don't take your clothes off.
Yeah.
Like you're in Southern California.
Right.
It's humid and hay sticks to you. And guess what? You get super itchy.
Oh,
I was
crap.
taking oat baths and all that kind of stuff.
Gosh.
But I did man's work, chopping
Yeah.
wood for my buddies, my best friend from college, grandparents,
Okay.
wood for the winter. And so we did man's work.
Yeah.
And God started getting a hold of my heart.
Mm, mm. So, breaking up with this guy, did you have any was there a time where you were out just running amok in between this time of breaking up and chucking hay or whatever on
What
the
do you
farm?
mean by running amok?
Like did you go out and date other guys? Did
So
you have
we were faithful to one another,
when you were in the
but
relationship?
we were open to doing fun things together with
Okay.
other men.
Okay.
And we traveled. We went to Germany. I think we went to Germany,
Mm.
Hawaii. We went to all over the U.S. and would meet people, hook up, and
Yeah.
and
Move on.
yeah, and just have fun.
Okay.
With dudes, it's a purely transactional kind of a thing. You meet someone, you hook up, see you later, dude,
Yeah.
and you move on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now you're on this farm
Yeah.
and you said God starts getting a hold of you. Tell me.
So yeah, they're like, well, we don't work on Sunday. It's a Sabbath. I'm like, okay, whatever. I use a break. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we all go to church.
Mm.
And we went to this little podunk. It was called Moreland Baptist Church.
Okay.
Small little country church in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. And I'm like, I haven't been in church in like 5 years.
Mm.
And when I actually had been twice. When my grandpa died, I went to his memorial service, and the founding pastor of the church where I grew up in, I went back. I happened to be in town. But beyond that, I never stepped foot in a church. I wanted
Wow.
nothing to do with it.
Wow. While you were living in this
Yeah,
lifestyle.
correct.
Yep. So
And
now they invite
So
you.
now I'm like, I don't kind of have a choice because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And I'm just, they bought my plane ticket. I had no
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
I'm along for the ride.
Yeah.
And God just started getting a hold of my heart.
What'd that look like? What was your first experience back
I
at church?
couldn't even articulate. It felt good to be back, if that
Mm.
makes sense, because I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
But maybe I started reading the Bible. I don't know. But we went to church for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Each
Every Sunday. Okay.
when I was back there, then flew back home.
Home to
Palm Springs.
Okay.
And now it's coming up on a month, and I don't have rent to pay. I don't have any money.
Yeah.
And so I called my parents, and they're like, why don't you come back at home and live with us? And I'm 28. And I'm like, Dad, Mom, I've lived all over the world. I've had my own business, my own
Yeah.
home. I'm not, as a grown man, coming back home with Mommy and
Yeah.
Daddy. That
Yeah.
ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But they're like, why don't you come home? My sister's getting married pretty soon after this, and she says I wrecked the wedding
Oh.
because I wrecked the photos. I mean, I did not look like me. If you look at that picture today, It
You're like,
doesn't
"Who is
look
that guy?"
like me. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you still had the
I
makeover
still,
thing
yeah,
going.
my buddy's wife was like, is Jim wearing what is it called? Mascara?
Eyeliner or something?
Eyeliner,
Mascara, yeah.
What's Jim, when I got off the plane, she's like, what has happened to him?
Oh, wow.
I looked really dramatically different.
Wow. Wow.
I have super long eyelashes. You can't tell because they're blonde, but when
Yeah.
they're black,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it looks like I have artificial eyelashes
Wow.
on.
Okay. So did you move back home?
So, yeah, I was
You-
homeless. I
yeah.
literally was going to be homeless. And I'm like, well, I'll go back home. As soon as I get back on my feet, I'm going to go right back into the
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Wow.
I just need a temporary landing
Yeah.
spot. A buddy of mine, Aaron, gay dude, he helped me move back to my parents' house. I don't know why they weren't home. They weren't. He said goodbye. And yeah, God, and then something happened. It's like there was this battle for my soul.
Mm.
The powers of darkness wanted me to go back, and I wanted to go back. But yet there was this battle of, I knew what was right and wrong.
Yeah.
And I think just being in a holy home or a godly house with my parents, I just kind of gave my life to the Lord. Now, it wasn't like I'd made a decision or anything.
Yeah.
I just, all right, I'll go to church with you guys. And then I couldn't get enough. I started going to 3 different churches.
Wow.
Going to different men's Bible studies and just connecting with men.
In a totally different
Yeah,
way.
in a totally different,
Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
And I did not dare share with anybody what was going on. I just showed up.
Wow.
Was
How
quiet.
did that feel, Jim? Like, how did that feel? Because that's a drastic change from being with this guy in the relationship, right, for 3 years, pretty all in, to now going to church and not sharing a word about it. Like, what was going on inside?
I was embarrassed and afraid that I would be rejected, beat up, who knows what.
Yeah.
Whatever I thought, I'm like, I'm not telling anybody what I've
Okay.
been doing these last 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as I started going to church, reading the Bible, it just started cleansing me, started cleansing my mind, my eyes, my heart. And so I kind of alluded to earlier, I've known God almost my whole life.
Yeah.
God says and promises he'll never leave us nor forsake us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forsook him.
Right.
He never left me. He never forsook me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when I was in the lifestyle, God still spoke
I was
to
going
me,
to ask about that. Yeah.
which is really weird.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy because I'm like going, my partner and I got in an argument one night, and I literally looked up the ceiling and said, God, I'm hooking up with men, and this is never going to happen.
So you're in the middle of living in this relationship, God's speaking, and you're like, get out of here. I get it.
Yeah.
That happened to me multiple times.
Well,
I mean,
even I was traveling internationally with either for a variety of things. And if we had severe plane turbulence, I had like this Jonah complex. If you throw me out the plane, everyone else will survive because I know what I'm doing is wrong. I'm being disobedient, but I'm doing it anyway.
that's how I was too. Man.
Isn't that
So-
wild?
and-
I didn't know you had
Yeah.
a similar, that God still spoke to you.
Oh,
in that,
absolutely.
too.
Absolutely. And I knew I was doing wrong, but I didn't have a solution to do right.
And I would never tell another Christian or another person that God was still talking to me.
No. Well, I didn't even want to admit it myself.
Sure.
Because it's like, well, if you're hearing from God, why are you not just listening? It's like, because I don't trust that he's good.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying my life.
Yeah.
Even though I'm kind of not.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I would say I know God's good, but even though knowing that, we have free choice.
Yeah.
He doesn't force us to do his will.
Yeah.
We can choose it or not. And I'm like, nope, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Sin is fun. It's a blast.
Oh, yeah. Until it's not.
Yeah.
Until it's not.
Yep.
Until it slaps you in the face.
Yep.
So, okay. So even when you're in the lifestyle, the Lord's still talking to you. And so now go back. You're going to church. You're still at your parents' house.
Yeah.
And at this time when you're going to church, was pornography or men, were you kind of doing things still on the side, or was it pretty much like, no, okay, I'm going to go after
Since
God?
I moved back at home with my folks,
Yeah.
I've never been physical with another man since.
Wow.
And that was in 2002.
So that was literally you choosing to be at
Well,
their
but
house.
remember I said there was a battle for my
Yeah.
soul. That was still going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, as soon as I get right back on my feet, but God just started cleansing and
Yeah.
changing me. I remember we're watching TV and like everything was gay. Everything. Oh, she's a fag hag. Oh, he's queer. He's gay. Oh my gosh. And my dad just looked at me and goes, would you stop it?
Mm,
Quit saying everyone is gay or heterosexual or whatever.
mm,
Just cut it. And I didn't even realize this whole LGBTQ community was the only lens how I could see the world. By who somebody slept with, who, what, and that was
who
their
you're
identity.
attracted to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is your identity. That's what's important. Nothing else is. It's all about your sexual encounters.
Wow.
And I didn't realize how much I had changed until my dad said, "Would you stop
Mm,
classifying people as that?"
wow.
And it kind of hit me. It's like a tube getting hit with a 2x4. And I was like, wow, yeah, that's all I see. The whole world only through this one lens.
Wow. Okay. When did that start shifting for I mean, so that seems like it was pivotal. Like
It
it kind of woke you up.
that was pivotal that I was only seeing that. Picked up the Bible and started reading it.
Mm,
And I couldn't get enough. I literally just read the Bible day in and day out. I had no money. My parents were like, "Hey, I tell you what, we'll pay the minimums on your credit cards so you're not a complete financial disaster."
wow.
And I didn't work probably for 8, 9 months.
Really?
And just kind of during that period, I had a great therapist, counselor, and he just said, "You're kind of like in this honeymoon period of
Mm,
coming back to the Lord."
yeah.
And God just kind of shielded me. You talked
Hmm.
about porn and all this other stuff. I didn't have temptations at the
Yeah.
time. I was just under this, I'll say, honeymoon protection hand of the Lord during this sweet, sweet time.
Yeah.
And it actually opened up, and I don't even think my parents realized what they had done, but opened up a doorway to heal and restore the father-son relationship that was almost non-existent
Wow.
between my dad and I.
Wow.
Even my mom, and how God used that time as an adult to heal some of those wounds
Hmm.
from childhood and the connection points that never took place.
Wow. And you didn't go into this like, oh, I'm going to heal this. This the Lord
No,
was
I
moving.
went into this like as soon as I get right back on my feet,
I'm going back.
I'm going back in.
Yeah.
This is
Wow.
just a landing pad. But at the same time, I had friends, a couple of Christian friends, my best friend that
Mm,
called me to the farm, and Michelle from college. I called them when all this is going down with my partner. Now, I didn't put it this way. Hey, you guys better start praying for me. But that's what
that's
when I was calling them, they started praying for me.
wow.
And actually, before everything went south, Michelle had called me about 6 months prior. So it was right after 9/11.
Okay.
Um, and she said, "Jim, how can I pray for you?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can pray for my partner, our business, and our
Mm,
relationship." And then she asked me this question, and my answer was profound. She said, "Are you reading the Bible?" And I said, "Michelle, I'm not, because I'm afraid it will change me. And I don't want to be changed."
wow.
And what I started doing, I started reading the Bible when I moved back in with my mom and dad. They
And
didn't
you,
tell me to.
yeah.
They didn't force me to. I'm 28.
Yeah.
I just started seeking God, and like I said, he just started cleansing my heart, my eyes, my
Yeah.
mind, and began the process of being set free.
Wow. Wow. So tell me where that took you. Like, what did that look like? So you have this sweet honeymoon season, and then
I'd
what
say
unfolded?
probably that honeymoon season probably lasted about 1 to 2 years. It
Yep.
was, yeah, it
Similar
was
for me.
okay. Really,
I literally thought this is great. I'm going to live like this
yeah.
for the
I'm
rest of my
like,
life.
what do people complain about? I have no temptation. I'm just, kind of on fire
Mhm.
for the Lord. And in that first year, I was afraid to tell anybody my story.
Oh, you still didn't
I
share?
didn't. Well, I would tell a pastor. And it was like if a pastor came alongside of me and said, "Hey, because I'm like, this is kind of remarkable. This is a miracle what happened
Yeah.
in my life. I think I should share some pastors." Our senior pastor had said a year into it, "Would you be willing to share it in front of the congregation?
Wow.
This is my home church. I grew up in it.
Yeah.
2 rocks with my name on it and the foundation of one of the buildings. They put for people who didn't know God or had walked away from God. My grandparents put 1 rock in, and so did my folks. And they
Wow.
actually kept one for me and a close friend of mine from 5th grade, Andy. But they put 2 rocks in that foundation of that building.
Wow.
And so I got to kind of share that story a little bit. And at a 5-minute printed,
Yeah.
typed out, pastor wanted to review it, make sure,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
legit and all that. And got up there and kind of, in essence, read a statement.
Mm.
But a year, and my counselor was really, really wise. He said, "Jim, with your transformation, You shouldn't share publicly.
Mm.
You need to prove that this is true. This is really happening.
Yeah.
At least wait a year.
Mm.
Be faithful for a
Yeah.
year and then
Yeah.
decide from there on out.
Wow.
And it was literally a year and a month. In July of 2003, I shared my story and it hit people's hearts
Yeah.
so profoundly.
Yeah. Wow.
And either people struggling with other issues, infidelity, pornography, to, hey, I'm struggling with LGBTQ things, to, or we've got children, and it really just opened up an incredible opportunity to minister to people.
Wow. Okay. So what happened kind of after that? What was the trajectory? Where did things go?
Amazingly, I became a pastor on staff at the church.
So
Yeah. And so it didn't happen overnight,
Yeah.
but in 2004, I was employed by the church.
wow. So you'd been walking in freedom.
Correct.
You for over a year. You share your testimony, and now you're on staff at the church.
Yes.
The church you grew up in.
Correct.
Okay. What was the walk? What was
Pretty amazing. And it was really unique because men and women felt like they could connect with me.
that?
I wasn't one of these perfect Christians that
Yeah.
had their whole life all together.
Yeah.
I was a disaster.
Yeah.
I was a complete mess. I remember a friend in seminary, Angie was her name. And she said, Jim, you know what I love about you? You're an absolute mess
Yeah.
and you're in need of a savior. And his name is Jesus.
Come on. Yep.
And that's me.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
We're all messes, and I
Oh.
need a savior, you
Yeah.
know, to save me from myself.
Absolutely. Every day.
But people connect with that.
Yeah.
It wasn't this perfect pastor kind of role looking dude. I messed up, and God's redeemed me, and I want to walk in faithfulness
Yeah.
the best I know how. And when I mess up, I confess and keep moving forward.
Come on. What did that journey look like? As much as you want to share, with kind of walking out of that, was it ever a temptation again? With men?
So I'm still tempted. That's
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't and I'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. During that honeymoon period, I almost had no temptations.
Right.
And I was like, this is great.
Mhm.
This is the easy life.
Yeah.
And the reality hits and you start getting tempted.
Yeah.
And so I went through a variety of different programs. If you know Andy Kaminsky.
Yeah, he was just on.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Great friend. He founded Desert Stream Ministries. I went through their 36 intensive week program. That helped lay an incredible foundation that my therapist had given me when I started seeking counseling at the age of 16.
Wow. Seeking
And-
counseling on your own?
Yeah.
Not
well,
forced, or-
Well, I shared with my youth pastor. Youth pastor had me tell my parents.
Okay.
They wanted me to go to counseling. I
Okay.
agreed to it.
Okay.
And I loved it.
So you weren't forced.
I wasn't forced.
Well, there's just so much around counseling, so I just want to
Yeah.
be clear. Some people have been forced, right? And I want to tread
Absolutely.
carefully. But this was your
But
own
it
desire.
helped lay a foundation
Okay.
of understanding with same-sex attraction.
Yeah.
And it helped me understand root causes
Mm.
of same-sex attraction for men specifically.
Mm.
But for me, understanding that really, it laid a foundation. So when I came back to the Lord, I had this understanding of right from wrong and what are the root issues and causes.
Mm.
When I went through Desert Stream Ministries, that helped reconnect those dots,
Mm.
but even at a deeper level.
Okay.
So God began healing, restoring, and I began confessing the sins that I had done, and I just kept getting set free from all of that. But we're never promised free from temptation.
No, no,
Jesus, Kim, you know this.
No, yeah.
Jesus was tempted in every way, yet without sin.
Right.
We're all still tempted.
Yeah.
And when I share my story, I don't have a problem telling people that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an area that I can be tempted in.
Mhm.
But 9 times out of 10, I've got to get on my knees and look more to my kids in the eyes and
Mhm.
say, will you forgive daddy for snapping at you, for not talking nicely, or for hurting your feelings?
Mm.
Because that's more my everyday life,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it would be foolish to think, no, I'm never going to be tempted
Yeah.
again. With the LGBTQ issues, what I have found counseling, writing books for over 20 years,
Yeah.
is most men can still be tempted in this area.
Yeah.
They're not, I'd say probably about 98% still experience temptations even after leaving the lifestyle. Women, on the other hand, they're different issues.
Yeah.
That typically, when those wounded and brokenness needs are met, they're no longer tempted with same-sex attraction.
Right. Right.
That's just been my experience.
Mhm.
I spoke with world-renowned psychiatrists, psychologists, in Taiwan actually, And they really believe that, yes, you can be totally set free from this.
Mhm.
I believe them, but that has not been my experience personally
Right.
and walking with other men who come out of the
Right.
lifestyle.
Right. Well, and I think what you're hitting on is temptation.
Yeah.
Temptation is different than this is what I'm doing and living in. I mean, I can be tempted to be angry, but it doesn't mean I'm an angry person.
Sure.
Right? Like
Yeah.
what I choose to give myself over to is, and I think to say, and I think it's different.
It's kind of like I might be tempted to pop somebody,
Right.
but I have self-control and discipline. I'm not going to
By
punch
the grace of
somebody.
God, and
Yes.
you're asking for it.
You know?
And I think it's also to, and I love that you highlighted this, but I just want to say it again because I think it is different for everybody. I think the struggles we've had, the upbringings, there's a lot. There's woundedness.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it. I was just like, why am I attracted to women? What's going on? What's wrong with me? But I didn't really ask God those questions. And so I love that the Lord really did bring you in to a place, Desert Stream,
Yeah.
and to be talking about this in a place where you're not shamed, you're not condemned, but you're able to share and
Yeah.
open up is huge. And I think foundational to what you've been walking out for the last 20
Amen.
plus years.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. So I think this is crazy. I just as we were talking, like people may not know this, but I know you've written 5 books.
Yeah.
So in the lifestyle heavy for 5 years, right? Running a muck, as I like to say, just and then
Yep.
in a long-term relationship.
Yep.
So 5 years total, and then 5 books. Like the number 5 is the number of grace, as some may or may not know.
Yeah.
And so like for the amount of years you were in, look
Mm.
at like the redemption, 5 books birthed out of that.
Well, and what's amazing, you talk about redemption. I'm married. I'll be
Yeah, tell us
17,
about
I'll
that.
be 17 years this July, which is almost like God is so good.
How'd you meet? Go, just
Yeah, we
give us
should have
something.
never met. Yeah, so my wife, I went to seminary. Oh, that's what I wanted to share earlier. I went to seminary, got a Master of Divinity.
Okay.
The irony of this, I wanted nothing to do with the church, Kim.
Mm.
You know why? I wanted to be Jesus with skin on to a lost and dying world. And that wasn't the church, not the organization. And so I wanted nothing to do with the church. I wanted to be real. I know how the church treated. And with the LGBTQ community, that's not Jesus. I didn't want anything to do with that. But a mentor said, why don't you go to seminary so you could equip the church how to respond to these types of issues and exponentially use your voice, your influence in that regard. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I was going to go to, get my MBA, be rich, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I always said, that makes sense. I'll go to seminary.
Mm.
And that's what kind of projected or propelled me to, all right, I'll go to seminary and try to influence the church and how to treat and respond to those either in the lifestyle or dealing with same-sex attraction
Okay.
or identity issues, you name it.
Awesome. And so you went for that purpose. What
Yeah.
ended up happening?
So I got my degree. I actually graduated as a senior speaker in 2006.
Wow.
Never finished my thesis, your final paper.
Yeah.
And just, I was busy working full time. I was done with school. I didn't want to read another book.
No.
An MDiv is like 90 units, almost another 4-year degree. And I finally said, all right, I'll get my paper done so I can get my diploma. Well, Azusa Pacific University mailed my diploma to the wrong address. Got returned to the school. They called me. I'm on staff at my church. They were like, yeah, your diploma got returned to the university. I said, I worked really hard for that. I'll drive up on my lunch break, miss traffic, get back to, back in time and all that. And when I went up to pick it up, here's the God thing. In my book, I call it the chapters of divine mistake.
Mm.
I should never have met my wife. She was a director over the Graduate Center, which services all the grad students at Azusa Pacific University. Her office is in another room, not even in the front reception area. She just happened to be behind the desk when I walked in the door.
Mm.
She's like, can I help you? Told her why I was there. She goes, let me see your ID. Showed her my ID. She goes, why don't you take out your diploma? It looks like it's meaningful to you, and read it. So I pull it out of the envelope. I read it, and I look her right in the eye. And I said, this is a miracle. I've come out of the gay lifestyle. I just bought my first home. I'm a pastor and now my Master of Divinity. And Kim, she looked me right in the eyes and she said, it sounds like God has restored the years the locust have eaten.
Come on.
And I'm behind a counter going, who's this hot chick?
Yeah.
Beautiful girl, quoting Joel chapter 2, a minor prophet in the Old
Yeah.
Testament. Christians don't know scripture this well.
Right.
Who is this chick?
Mm.
And as we're talking, I'm looking in her eyes and I see Jesus. And my heart's desire was, I said, God, if I ever get married, I want a woman who loves Jesus more than I do. And she was standing across the counter. And then so we start chatting, you know, because I'm kind of working up the huevos, the courage
Yeah.
to get her number. And she says, oh, I've got friends in the lifestyle. Now, mind you, this is in 2008, and the LGBTQ wasn't quite as popular and
Yeah.
or as mainstream. And I'm thinking, you work at a Christian university. How do you have gay friends? She goes, I'm a semi-professional musician. I'm like, oh, of course, Hollywood, you
Yeah.
know. And I said, don't ever stop praying for your LGBTQ friends. My family never gave up on me. They prayed and fasted, and here I am today.
Wow.
And then I said, hey, we hire an orchestra for Christmas. It's October.
Mm-hmm.
I said, let me get your number and I'll pass it on to the worship pastor. You know, here's my number, call me maybe. And so she gave me her number, got in the car, called my buddy. He's a cop with the LA County Sheriff's Department. I'm like, David, I just met this girl. I was so excited. Got her number. He's like, well, call her, dude. You know, give her a call. And then I'm like, I don't feel right because I told her I was going to pass the number on. So I called the main switchboard when I actually called her. So I called the switchboard. I get her assistant. Who's this?
Yeah.
Who? Hold on a second. You know, they put me on hold. She comes back and says, oh, she's in a meeting. And I'm like, oh, this ain't going anywhere. Well, here's my number.
Mm.
And she called me.
Wow.
And married her, 9 months later.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
You got married 9 months after
Yeah.
you met her.
Yes. I was 34. She was 30.
Let's go.
And
You knew.
she, yeah. And I got to tell you something. This was the coolest thing she said. Our fourth date, you know, you're getting to know each other and talking about, we want to have a family. I've always wanted kids. She wants to be a mom and all that kind of stuff. And she says, Jim, have you ever slept with a woman?
I was going to ask you that.
Well, she beat you to it.
Yeah, she did. She did.
You girls, I
I
know.
know.
You
Well,
wanted
I'm
to
like,
have these
wait.
questions. Yeah. And I go, Amanda, no, I've never slept with a woman. And she goes, you're a virgin. Okay, time out. Wait a minute. Did you not hear I used to be gay?
Right.
Do you know how many men I've slept? I'm thinking this, but God is already using her to heal and restore me into what God intended a man to be and do. I didn't ask her. I mean, she asked the question. I told her. And Kim, that was so healing. That was so freeing. I'm like, this is the heart of God.
Yeah.
And this is woman I'm dating. And I knew on our first date, we had coffee. That was our first date. I knew I was going to marry her. But you know, note to self and anyone else listening, you don't tell that to the person you're dating.
Yeah.
I've learned from the story of Joseph. You don't
Yeah.
tell your brothers, hey, you're all going to be bowing down to me. When God tells you these secrets, keep them secret.
Yeah. Yeah. Mary held them all in her heart.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. Preach it, sister. And so I'm like, okay, this is the girl I'm going to marry. And then she says this on our fourth date. And it was beautiful. It was amazing.
Wait, what did she say on her fourth date?
Well, that's that she asked me if I was a virgin.
Yes.
And she said, and
Or she asked you if you were.
well, she'd asked me if I'd ever slept with another woman. And she's like, you'll never be able to compare me with anyone else. Wow. And it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Come on.
And God has done that through our whole married life. She doesn't even know what she's doing or saying. It's like God just kept healing me and restoring me.
Wow. And I would imagine, just because it's who God is, he was restoring her in ways that she needed to, or blessing her in ways. Maybe it wasn't restoration.
I would say more blessing. My wife has been on the straight and narrow rule follower, but she's always walked with God. She, she'll say, I kind of don't have a testimony. I live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
But there's something beautiful when people meet her. Even my sister, she's like, how did you find someone so kind? Jesus was kind.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And she truly has the heart of God. You look at, and she walks with God. She has her whole life. And when you meet her, when you hang out with her, I had a neighbor come up to me the other day and he's like, Jim, I feel like I'm in the presence of God when I'm with your wife.
Come on.
But that's just who she is.
Yeah. Amen. Well, that's what happens when you walk with God.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
And so I so appreciate. Some people are like, I don't have a testimony like yours. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. It's beautiful to walk with him.
Yes.
And he can restore when you haven't.
Yep.
Right? It's
Yes.
the both and.
Yeah.
Right? And so, okay, tell me how it unfolded. Like children, what
Yeah, so we get married in July of 2009. And actually she kissed me the night California passed. We changed California's constitution that marriage between a man and a woman. Section 1, Article 7.5, California's Constitution. In 2024, they actually undid it.
Right.
They removed it, which is a tragedy in itself. That's another thing. But that night when we passed that, she kissed me. And she said, I'm not, she played, how do I want to say? I don't want to say as a player, but I was dating. I was dating a lot of girls, but I was like, I just said, God, I want to focus on you and your kingdom. I can't find a woman that loves Jesus more than I do. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay being single.
That's how I am.
I love the kingdom adventure, and
Yep.
it's a huge adventure.
Yep.
But I'm like, there's just not a woman out there.
Yeah.
That's what my heart wants.
Yeah.
And we meet through this divine mistake. We get married. 2-week honeymoon in Italy. That was phenomenal. That was a blast. And I had a lot of growing to do, but anyway, that's for another story.
Yeah.
But God is as we so we wanted to have kids, and then we found out we weren't going to be able to have kids. Amanda lost a pregnancy. We've lost 2 babies, baby Samantha and baby Shane, at 14 weeks or 16 weeks and 14 weeks. We've held our babies in our hands. And anyone who tells you it's not a baby, it's a lie. I've held, they've got little tiny fingernails, little nose. They fit literally in the palm of your hand. One of the doctors goes, "Oh, you're just gonna pass a mass of flesh." Well, no, that's a little boy or little girl created in the image of God.
Yeah. And you held.
And we held them.
Yeah.
And so we just said, I think we're gonna have to foster adopt or adopt. We started exploring some of those options. Bethel Church, I don't know if you've heard of Bethel Church or not, but they had some prayer rooms, and we did a FaceTime. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yes, thank you. We just were like, we're desperate. We want to have kids, and people not only prayed over us, but literally prophetic words that we would have children, and that their roots would be very deep, and people would see that they were different. And that has come to fruition. We have 3 kids.
Come on.
2 daughters, a son, 14, 9, and 7.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wow. And 2 in heaven.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Come on. So,
and it's hard to wild the thing. I'm like, honey, you've had 5 kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what I'm remembering as you're sharing this? Your partner that was a male was HIV positive?
Yes. And hepatitis C positive. Oh yeah.
And
Let's circle back to that.
let's go there.
How does that happen? Kim, this is another miracle. God protected me from AIDS and hepatitis C. And hepatitis C is a lot more contagious than HIV.
Yeah.
And HIV is actually really hard to get. But it is a miracle. I don't have HIV.
But I was going to say, you were doing things that you had high odds of getting HIV.
Oh, 110%.
Because of your relationship.
And I was so almost certain I would have HIV. I got tested probably 10 or 12 times after coming out of the lifestyle, because I'm like, I know I have to have it.
Yeah.
I can't, the tests are wrong. And finally, after like the, I don't know, 10th, 12th time, our senior pastor's wife goes, Jim, you don't have to get tested again. You're okay.
Amen. Wow. That's, the Lord, his protection.
And the Lord has protected me from any STD, which that's a miracle. In itself.
With how many men you were with. And wow.
Correct.
So, Jim, you wrote some books.
Yeah, I did.
Talk to me. When did the first one come out?
I gotta.
Let's go. You better bring him.
Not a Mistake. Parents Hope for Their Gay Son. And I wrote this, and in the beginning, I actually in the author's note, I literally say, if you're looking to read this book and thinking it's just going to change you, get rid of it. That's not, I'm not trying to change you. That's not the heart of this book.
No.
It's to understand and give hope to parents to understand some of the issues that gay men deal with and some of the traumas. And I really wanted to make it about Jesus, Kim.
Yeah.
So at the end, because I don't want to make it about me, but I think it's helpful when you read someone's story
Yeah.
to kind of connect the dots, the relationship between mom and son and father and son.
Yeah.
And I sucked at sports. That's why I did Ironman. There's no balls involved. I'm not very real coordinated.
Okay.
But I also included 19 former LGBTQ people's stories from around the globe.
I think I'm in it.
Yes, you're in it. Yes, yeah. I got your story. But I'm the president of the Global Rainbow Crossers Alliance. It's a network of over 70 nations of former LGBTQ people around the planet, and I tell their stories: black, brown, white, male, and female, dealing with the whole alphabet spectrum.
Yeah.
And how, and I wanted it to be encouraging to parents.
Amen.
Because my parents didn't have a whole lot of hope.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to try to help those who wanted, hey, I think I want to change, or I want to do something
Not
different.
forcing someone, but
No, never force.
No,
Yep.
God didn't force you. He didn't force me. So was this the first book you wrote?
Yes.
Okay, keep
Yeah.
going. Roll them out,
So
man. Did
then
you bring them all? Are they all over there?
Yeah, they're all over there.
go.
Yeah. Then I journeyed with men for over 20 years of helping them deal with sin issues.
Yeah.
And I was
Not
like,
just homosexual.
correct. And this is not a homosexual book.
Yeah.
This is a sin book.
Amen.
Primarily with men. This book deals with I know I've walked through, set so many men free. I mean, it's Jesus, but coming alongside of them and helping people overcome drugs, alcohol. One was a stripper.
Addiction.
You name it. Whatever your issue might be. I talked about, being addicted to sugar and carbs. I love to eat unhealthy things.
Italian.
I can't do it anymore. Yeah. But in how God can help set us free in practical ways to do that.
Love it.
My publisher said, he goes, Jim, what I like about your book, it gives tangible ways to help set people free.
Amen.
And it's not about doing a checklist.
No.
Let me say that. God is merciful. He walks and journeys with us. But I've got a buddy, we're talking at the gym last week. And he goes, yeah, the pastor just told me, just got to give it over to God. And I said, you know what? I'm not slamming your pastor, but telling someone who's an addict, just give it to God doesn't work. You need to replace bad habits. There's steps you can do and tangible things you can do to help break the addiction cycle. Instead of just, God, I give it to you.
Right.
Because that doesn't really help someone.
Well, and long term.
In long term, moments of temptation, when you fail, then what?
Right.
And so this book gives those type of practicalities, how to deal with
and
that.
walking with people.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. We need each other.
Yeah, amen.
We need each other. And so it sounds like you had that, and now you are
I
that
had
to
healthy
others.
men in my life, and those of us who deal with same-sex attraction need more healthy men than the average dude does.
I need more healthy women.
Yes,
100%.
and they pour into you, and it makes you just a healthy, well-rounded individual. And
Amen.
I also got a huge network now. If someone needs help, I know who to send them to.
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna touch on that. Rip through the
and
rest. You got 3 more.
Yeah,
I know the
there's
5.
3 more. And
You
then
better be writing kids'
these are
books.
for kiddos. And after my wife and I got married and we had our 3 kids, when I started looking at some of the dolls, and I'm like, they're whores. They're like prostitutes. I'm not gonna, what kind of dolls? So I started thinking, how can I come up with like a doll that's healthy, that's godly, that has a correct image about a woman's body, and they're not sex symbols.
Yeah.
Do you know? And so that started kind of playing in my head. And then I was like, we have this whole culture that's been deceived that you can change your biological sex. And I was like, honey, how can I write a book to help parents teach their kids God's truth, and not mention LGBTQ, not mention sex, not mention anything, age-appropriate content to help? Because we have a lot of friends having babies.
Yeah.
And they're like, Jim, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
The media, TV, school, everything, social media is telling our kids, how do we even have these conversations? So I came up with the Button Kids. Cute as a button.
Love it.
It's birth to 2. And then we've got 3 to 5 and 6 to 8.
Oh my gosh.
All during those important developmental years to help shape a kid's identity. That boys are boys, and it's good. And guess what? Being a girl is great.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is good. It is beautiful. And guess what? Kim, I know this is a shocker. Boys are different than girls. I mean, the subtitle, Boys and Girls Are Different by Design. That's what God did. That's how he created us.
Yeah, and there's beauty in it, even if you're not like every other boy you see, or even if you're not like every other girl, you're still boy, you're
And
still
and
girl.
having two girls and a boy,
Yeah.
they need a mom and
Yes.
they need a father. And
Yes.
we're totally different on how we approach
Absolutely.
things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's mama milk and fun daddy, you know?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
but that's kind of an internal family
Mm.
joke what we have. But there's really, mothers are nurturing.
Yeah.
Dads are fun. They're
Yeah.
exciting. And I'm not saying my wife is boring,
No.
but it's just, there's this compliment that helps
Yes.
shape and bring up a healthy boy or a
Yeah.
healthy girl.
And we're lacking so much of that.
Yeah.
We have absent fathers. We have mothers who are at work now, and I'm not saying work is bad for a mom or anything like that, but we're missing some of these key things. And so praise God, Jim. I
Thank
did
you.
not know you wrote 3
Yeah.
children's books, and I love that they're age appropriate and like stepping through
Yes.
this.
And we don't mention anything LGBTQ.
Yeah.
There's nothing about sex. So we talk
Yeah.
about man, God, God created man, woman, and babies. We don't talk about how they're created.
Yeah.
Just that it's as simple as when a man marries a woman, they have babies.
Yeah.
And again, it's preaching and teaching biblical truths through something that's fun and interactive. There's hidden buttons all through the pages
Okay.
at age appropriate levels.
Yeah.
So you can count how many buttons are on each page. And as you go through, there's a prayer you can pray over your kids about affirming their boyhood, their sexuality as a
Yeah.
boy, or their sexuality as a female.
Come on. And you know what I love? That it was written by a male. And I'm assuming your
Thank
wife
you.
had some, feeding into this.
A little bit, yeah, but it was really kind of from my heart. And I fly a lot, I
Yeah.
speak a lot,
Yeah.
and when you're on a plane, there's not a lot,
lot of
and I don't
downtime.
always like to watch movies, so I would just write. So I wrote a lot of my books, or
Wow.
recorded them, or
Yeah.
sketched out the drawings, or kind of the vision I had how to do this. I have a kind of an artistic design,
Yeah.
and worked with an amazing artist
Mm,
who literally brought to life the Button Kids.
come on.
And yeah, just a great way for parents to maybe have make it easier for them to have some difficult conversations
Yeah.
without having to bring up topics that they may not want to talk about.
I love it. Jim, what would you say to someone who's listening, right? Like it's such a common thing, but I think it's just so important from the heart of father, man, and someone who's been through and still goes through a lot.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone that's listening, whether they be a parent? I want to actually have you hit both of those. Someone who struggles and is just having fun,
Yep.
loving whatever sin they're in or whatever. Maybe they don't see it as sin. I don't know.
Sure.
And then also I want you to speak to parents.
So if you're in the lifestyle and you're having a blast, I get it. I did it. Been there, got the t-shirt, and it's not at the end of the day when it's kind of like when the party's over, it's really not that fun. It's not satisfying. That's why you keep doing it. That's why you keep seeking the next sexual adventure. That's why you keep drinking or doing drugs or whatever it is you're doing. You're really not happy. On the outside, you look happy and you might be fun as hell,
Yeah.
but internally, you're dying inside. And people might there might be someone listening, I'm not like that. That's not my life. It is. You're just not being honest with yourself. Having lived with a man and trying to pretend to be married and try to live that, and now being married to my wife for 17 years, it's a life that's a living hell, trying to make it work with your same sex, and living with someone of the opposite sex as God intended it's been tranquil, it's been blissful. It's night and day difference.
Yeah.
And it has been amazing. And it's funny, I almost at times I'm like, how does a man and woman get divorced? When you marry right, it's
Right.
beautiful.
What
It's,
God has brought together.
yes, what God's brought together. It is beautiful. It is incredible. It is easy. You might be like, is your wife really thinking that? I think she would agree with me.
Yeah.
It hasn't been difficult. It hasn't been this arduous thing trying to make something that's unnatural, make it work compared to this. It's night and day difference.
Right. Well, and I think that's something you're hitting is you've experienced other.
Yes.
So you get to see the beauty and the ease in God's design when you try to live outside
Yep.
His design. And what I'm hearing you say.
And even intimacy is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing. And it's just how God has redeemed and restored
Yeah.
me, and He can restore anyone who chooses that. It's miraculous.
And what I'm hearing you say is God has more for you.
Amen.
God has more for you.
Yep.
You don't have to strive and tear and tarry. God has more for you. Will you trust Him?
Yep.
Will you
Amen.
trust that what He has is better? That Jesus said, I have life and life abundant.
Amen.
I've known you, Jim, for years, and I see a life abundant.
Mm.
Not a life perfect,
Yeah.
but a life abundant.
And thank you for saying, I am not perfect.
No,
I'm not without sin. I am not
Yeah.
without temptation.
Yeah.
But it's I always go, am I gonna choose my fallen nature? Or am I gonna choose God? Am I gonna choose my wife? I'm gonna choose my children,
Okay.
my reputation.
Mhm.
You know, there's just, so that's kind of on that comparing the two lifestyles. And then you asked about for parents.
Yeah.
Don't give up hope. Keep praying. My family prayed and fasted. And I think when we fast, something bigger happens in the spiritual realm.
Jesus
Now,
says it.
He does.
He says some things
but-
only go with prayer and fasting.
Yes, that's when he exorcised out a demon. I think that's in Mark 8, or Mark 9. And so yes, there's power in that. But God isn't a genie.
Yeah.
We don't just do this and it makes him do what we want. But do know that. But I do believe that my family was committed to that. They had very strict boundaries. You heard me say earlier, I accuse them, how dare you call yourself Christians? You don't know Jesus. But when I came back, I had a safe, godly, tranquil, I'll say holy home to come home to be restored and to walk in right relationship.
Amen.
And God has kind of birthed that, blessed that
Mhm.
to marriage and children. And Kim, it is the best, not only being a husband, but I love being daddy to my 3 kids.
Come on.
It is amazing.
Jim, I want to ask you this too, because people who are watching are probably like, dude, I love this guy. Like, I need to know him, and that can be hard. But how would someone reach out to you if they are interested in hearing what you do, whether it be their parents or there's someone who's struggling or someone who's been out of the lifestyle but just doesn't know where to go? What's a good way?
You can go to my website,
Okay.
jimdomen.com. My
Okay.
name, JIMDOMEN.com.
Okay.
Or if you just want to reach out, need some help or some counseling, I can help counsel, but I also have a huge network globally where I can help find someone local to get you help.
Amen. I just want to say, Jim, for my own heart, you give my heart hope. 42 years old, and I'm like, Lord, I want what you have for me. I don't
Amen.
want the distorted version. Satan, there's this phrase, Christopher West says it, Satan doesn't have his own clay. He doesn't create. He distorts and he twists. And I've lived in the distorted and the twisted. And I'm like, Lord, it's not my job to untwist, but I surrender. Show me what you have. Show me your glory. Show me what
Amen.
you have. Give me the grace to trust you that you have life and life abundant, no matter what age, no matter how far I've run, no matter what, that is not outside of your grace, that you can reach and will I let you. And so I'm blessed, Jim. Like,
Amen.
I know you. I'm grateful to know you, but to just even hear more, and it blesses my own heart. So I have no question others will be blessed. So thank you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for, what I love too, is as a woman, seeing a man who loves Jesus and loves his family.
Amen.
Because I think you have it in the right order,
Thank you.
right? You met the one who loves you the most.
Yep.
You let him love you, and you can love him and now your family in return.
Amen.
And so just
Thank
bless
you.
you, brother. I'm honored to know you, call you friend and brother. So thank you.
Thanks for having me, Kim.